Eala and the Filipino diaspora finding its voice, Amplify with Angie. Over the past few weeks, the internet has been loud, not just because of tennis balls echoing across courts in Melbourne and Auckland, but because of Filipinos cheering for Eala, as if every point were personal. Videos and comment threads multiplied as her matches at the Australian Open and the ASB Classic drew crowds that refused to sit politely on their hands. Some complained that tennis should be watched in respectful silence. Others argued that modern tournaments actively engage spectators, especially when the stakes rise. What unsettled many observers was not just the volume of the cheering, but who was doing it and why it was happening now. This conversation matters because it exposes a long-standing tension in global sports and media. Whose expressions of pride are considered acceptable, and whose are dismissed as excess. When Filipinos show up loudly, the reaction is often framed as disruption rather than devotion. The criticism that a small country had no right to be rowdy says more about old hierarchies than about tennis etiquette. The deeper story is not noise. It is visibility. For decades, the Filipino diaspora has been present across the world, but largely invisible in elite global sport. Overseas Filipino workers, migrants, and second-generation Filipinos fill stadiums quietly, working jobs that keep economies moving while their cultural presence stays in the background. Eala's rise disrupted that pattern. Her recent matches were not championship finals, yet they carried championship-level energy. Security teams noticed. Broadcasters noticed. Social media certainly noticed. What many failed to recognize is that this was not random fandom. It was a diaspora recognizing itself. Despite training in Spain from a young age, Eala has consistently anchored her milestones in Filipino identity. She has spoken in Filipino in global interviews. She has credited Filipino supporters even when competing thousands of miles from home. In doing so, she challenged a familiar narrative that global success requires shedding local identity. Instead, she demonstrated that excellence can carry a flag without waving it aggressively. Eala has acknowledged the diaspora support in an Australian Open post-game interview. In this part of the world, there are a lot of Filipinos I know, but the turnout this year has grown significantly from the past years. I'm so happy to see this environment. People are excited, and when I'm on court, they are excited to see me. It's flattering, and it makes me feel welcome. As a newsroom, Filipinos, has followed her journey closely, from her ITF junior days to historic Grand Slam wins as a teenager, including the US Open Girls Singles and Australian Open Girls Doubles titles. We tracked her transition to the professional tour, where she has become a genuine box office draw on the WTA circuit. Her climb into the top 100, making her the highest-ranked Filipino tennis player in Women's Tennis Association, WTA. Tour history did not happen in isolation. It happened alongside a growing, confident Filipino audience that finally saw itself reflected on a global stage. That context matters as she now competes on home soil at the Philippine Open, the country's first WTA tournament. Here, the cheering is no longer questioned. It belongs. She is not just representing the Philippines. She is playing with the Philippines behind her. From a media and mentoring perspective, this moment offers a clear lesson. Global platforms are not neutral spaces. They are shaped by who shows up, who speaks, and who is willing to be seen. The Filipino diaspora did not suddenly become loud. It became confident enough to be visible. Eala did not manufacture that energy. She unlocked it by staying rooted while moving forward. Near the end of my mentoring sessions, I often remind students that identity is not a liability in global spaces. It is an anchor. When carried with discipline and excellence, it becomes a force multiplier. Eala's story affirms that truth in real time. As her career unfolds, the conversation will move on, from crowd behavior to rankings, from novelty to expectations. But this chapter will matter long after the noise fades. It marks the moment when Filipinos abroad stopped asking for permission to belong in global arenas and simply showed up. Next Sunday, we return to another story where context, culture, and clarity matter. Until then, keep amplifying what deserves to be seen. Amplify with Angie is a weekly Sunday column on Filipinos, about stories, strategy, and making sense of the digital-first world.